Hello, folks. It's Phil. It is 8:30 on Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. And today was a pretty damn good day, I have to say. I am still in the fast. I'm still dealing with, energy up and down. I'm still dealing with yawning. I don't know why I yawned. First 5 seconds of the video, I yawned. I haven't yawned all day, but I start the video, I yawn. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so, some of us have to change our way of living. Or we won't have a house to live in, and we won't have a place to stay. And that is me. I cannot be gambling. I just came to the realization. I said, you got to make a decision here, Phil. You got to make a decision. You can't. In 2022, when my wife died, I sort of lost my mind a little bit about my gambling, and I spent a shitload of money. But I was gambling before that. I was gambling with her, but we weren't spending that much money. We were just having fun. But I've been gambling. I look back on it, and I just turned 66 just this week. I won't tell you the date, but I just turned 66. And I got thinking back on it. I said, my dad, when would I start going with my dad to the track? I seem to remember it was when I was 16 years old. So I'm 66 now. That means 50 years I've been involved in gambling. And I'd go with my dad, and we would talk about, his picks and all. But the other gambling I've done has been, Virginia Lottery. When it started, I've gambled with that a lot. When the slots came to Charlestown, I gambled with that a lot. I never played poker. I wanted to get into poker, but the thing about poker that scares me the most about poker is, and this was on WSOP, the World Series of Poker, and there was a guy talking. He's one of the finest poker players in the world. One of the finest poker players in the world, and he was talking. This is a guy who'd won, $5-6 million at tournaments. And he'd been in poker for like 30 years. And he said, I've been bankrupt 8 times. I've been bankrupt 8 times as I've been playing poker. So going broke is nothing new to me. And I've been trying, he was talking about how he's trying to not go through that cycle again, But this is a guy who probably moved 30 or $40 million through his life in that 30 years he was playing poker. But he never got on top of it. And it shows you what the allure and the ultimate flaw of gambling is that when you get money that comes to you relatively easy, you don't appreciate it. And there's never a point in your life where you get to the point where you say, okay, well, I've got enough, And this is what I ran into with the slots at Charlestown. I had, in the last 2 years, I want to say I had 6 nights in the last 2 years where I was at least a $1,500 winner and didn't walk out with anything. And how does that happen? Well, what happens is you're there on a night when your luck is good and you start winning. And everything you touch, every slot machine you touch, you make money. But that's how this psychological tool of slots is made. It's made so you keep betting It's made so you start enjoying losing money, is what it really, that's what it's. Slots are designed to make you enjoy losing money. That's why it gives you that endorphin hit of, you see like the oldest ones was 3 sevens. And you'd see 7, 7, and then the 7 would come up, Or then the next time it'd be 7, it'd be 7, 7, and the 7 down. But you see 7 like this, but it would never be a cross, And then maybe one time you'd hit it, But then you're doomed because you expect it's going to come back. And you just need to understand that it's designed for you to teach you how to enjoy losing money. And the gambling story that kind of affected me the most, and it's been wearing on my mind ever since I heard it. And I heard it about, I want to say 10 years ago. There was a guy that was a gambler in Las Vegas. He was an absolute habitual gambler. And he had been broke, and he had got money, and he had been broke. Well, one night, Lady Luck showed up at his door in a huge way. He started playing blackjack. Somehow this guy got up to like, I think it was like $50 million at the blackjack table. I don't know how he did that. Because for me, blackjack is always, it's 21. And the dealer wins like 3/4 of the hands. So, but anyway, he got up to $50 million. And what the casino did was, they were comping him free drinks. He got reckless, he got drunk, and he went broke. He lost $50 million at the blackjack tables. And the thing that got me most about that was, you would think he would be crushed. But when they asked him about it, they tried to make him feel bad about it. He says, that doesn't affect me. I'm a gambler. I was gambling. And I just thought to myself, man, $50 million, you're set for 5 lifetimes. You're set for 5 lifetimes, dude. Or, hell, 50 lifetimes, And he lost all that money. And the thing was, it was the act of gambling that he loved. The chase. Not actually getting the money. Well, I lost enough money, and I got a couple credit cards that I'm paying off. And in the process of doing that, I have these checks that I mail out from a credit union I have, and they transfer the balance over to this credit union, and I lower the cost of holding that debt by doing that. Well, I happen to have 2 cards of a certain type, and from the same company, but they're through different stores, So, but I made a payment on one that was supposed to go on the other one, and I put $1,500 on a card that was paid off. I got that bill yesterday, and I opened it up and I went, oh. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. I said, I could just leave that on that card, because I like using credit cards. They're fast. I just like using credit cards. But I like paying them off, too. I like having them paid off, I said, I could leave that $1,500 on that card, or I could make plans to move it off of there and then pay other bills. Because I am in a situation right now where every dollar counts, I mean, we're all in that situation, But coming to the end of gambling, and I thought how perfect it was. It was so perfect, a setup for me to fail, It was so perfect. It was like Satan set me up to see what I would do with that $1,500. Because I could have gone to Charlestown, and I could have got $500 gone gambling. Got $500 gone gambling. But $500 gone gambling. And every time you do that, it's like $40. It costs you $40 to do a cash advance. So, on top of the 30% they charge you for the cash advance, right? And I said, you know what? Of all the things that I'm going to do, that is absolutely not what I'm going to do. So I went out this morning, and first thing I did was I went and I got some gas with the card. And then I drove across to PetSmart, and I spent, I'm off work for a couple of days, and I'm so used to be doing the man thing and walking in the store and walking the fuck out, That's what men do. We go in, we get what the hell we want. Okay, I got my shit, I'm out, I said, nah, I'm going to look around because my knucklehead, she needs some food, and I'm trying to find some food for her that she likes, but doesn't make her skin break out. So, you got to pay. I'm going to start making her own food. I'm going to start using human food and making her own food, but not right yet. So I went and got her some food. I went to the gas station. I went and got some food with this card. Where the hell else did I go? Oh, I went to GNC. I got me some more iodine and selenium, and I got some other minerals they had there. And they had a good sale on those. So I got, if you buy two, you get the second one half off. So I said, okay, I'll get the second one. And then I went to the vitamin shop, and I went over there and I got some other stuff. Some iodine, a different type of iodine and some other stuff. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to try to go to my bank, and I'm going to try to do a $1,000 cash advance out of this card. Because I have $1,500 plus on the card, I said, I'm going to see if I can get the value out of this and put it in my bank account, and then I'll pay off some other bills, And I thought about using the card to pay the bills, but for some reason, this card does not like to be used on the internet, because I tried to buy some car parts for my car, and it wouldn't go. And I said, okay, well, that's cool. We won't fight that. So we went to the bank, and I'm good friends with these people at the bank. They don't know me by name, but they know me by face. They're wonderful people. I've seen them all for, 10 years probably. I know one of the ladies I've seen for 20 years. Anyway, went in there, and I told the guy what I was going to do. I said, hey, I paid too much on this card. I got $1,500 on this card I don't need on this card, And I told him, I said, look, I've already spent about $250 this morning. So I'm down probably about $1,250. But I'd like to take $1,000 off and put it right in my bank. And I had my deposit slip already written out for $1,000. So it had my bank account and everything. And he worked on it. And, God, the bank that I have, my main bank, they need to give these people some modern freaking computer equipment. And it's a big bank, too. But it's one of them things where banks are very investment conscious. They don't want to spend any money. All they want to do is make interest on what your money is doing for them. That's all they want. They would prefer you to go online and do all your shit online, and all these people will get fired. That's what, and I refuse to do that, because if I have access to my bank account through my home computer and my home computer gets hacked, I'm fucked. So I don't do online banking. I don't even have a debit card, because I don't want any way for my account to be accessed except through my checks that I send to the places I owe money to. So anyway, I went in there, and the guy worked on the card for, I held him up for about 12, 15 minutes. But he got the money out, and then he put it right back in my checking account. So I pulled $1,000 of value off that card, put it in my checking account, and tomorrow I'm going to write the bills out, or I might write them out on, I'm going to write them out on probably Saturday, because on Friday I got something good I got to do. I'm going to get to that. So we got that taken care of. I got that $1,000 into my bank account, and we're going to write the checks out, right? And I'm all feeling good. Well, one of the things that I do for these people at this bank, and I've done at the other Truist Bank we have down here, is, it's not enough to say you appreciate them. You got to go do something for them that shows you appreciate them, right? So I went down to Dunkin' Donuts and I bought them 12 donuts. There's only I think it was 6 people there. And you don't want to overload them, but I got them a box of 12 donuts. I got them 3 Boston cream. I got them 3 maple frosted. I got them 3 of the strawberry frosted with the sprinkles. And what was the last? I always forget the last donut. Dang it. Boston cream, maple frosted, strawberry sprinkle covered. And what was the last donut? Oh, 3 jelly donuts. It was 3 jelly donuts. So yeah. And I brought that box of donuts in there. You should see them 2 guys behind that counter. They're big boys, They're big boys. And they were both smiling when I walked in. I said, "Here you go, guys. And there you go, ladies." And, but it made their day. But I really do appreciate everybody who works a shitty job that they get no respect about. And everybody talks crap about them, and everybody gets angry at them, but they don't understand. Look, they're just like you. They got a family they're trying to feed. They're trying to do the very best at their job. It's not their fault that the damn computers are 10 years old they're working on, And one of the other things I do is our postal workers. I'm usually home when they're delivering the mail. Well, you know me, I'm a Deer Park water guy. And every day I give them a Deer Park water. I just walk it out to them, I get my mail, and I give it to them. Not every day, but when I run into them, you know what I mean? And they know that, and they appreciate it. And I say some kind words to them, too. Anyway, so we got the 1,000 in the bank. I went down to Dunkin' Donuts, and I paid for that on the card. I got the Dunkin' Donuts. I got the 12 donuts, took it back to them. I know they really enjoyed it. And I was sitting in the parking lot. I was thinking about it. I said, you know what? I got one more day before 2026. And let me go up to this track. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my card and not the credit card. I'm going to take my Charlestown card and the credits on that. I'm going to play them off. I'm going to see what food credits I have. And then we're going to call 50 years of gambling over. And it's hard to do because on the 1st, my card renews with $75 worth of free food and another $100 and probably $20 worth of free credits. That's free. But if you're a gambler like me, it's like a drug addiction. And you don't want to get into that situation. You don't want to be in there. Because if you got a credit card that's got balance on it, you can charge out money for. If you got a bank account that's got money in it and you got your checkbook with you, if you got that monkey on your back screaming in your ear, "Man, you're going to win. Come on, take some money out. Let's go." It's not the place to be. So anyway, I drove up to Charlestown, okay? And I drove in a little different way. I normally drive around the back, and there's this Spring Road or something up there. You go past Charlestown, and then you go around this Spring Road. That's the back way in. That's how I always went. This time I went in the front way. I just said, screw it. This is my last time seeing this place. Let me drive in the front. So I drove in the front. I parked in the front. I walked on in, and I checked my card. Because what you do is you take your casino card, you slip it in a machine, You put your passcode in, and then it brings up promotions. You hit promotions and all that. So I hit promotions. I didn't know how much credits I had. And this might be a very short trip to Charlestown. 2 hours up, 2 hours back, in 10 minutes, you know. But the thing that I was determined about with this was just stretch it out a little bit, enjoy it. And number one was, when I hit something on a machine, was pull the ticket out, because you get a piece of paper. Pull the ticket out, put it in my wallet. Don't put it back in the machine. And I did that. I had $165 of free play credits on my card. And it was a good day. I won $400. I walked out of there with $400 and a venti size Starbucks coffee that I paid 50 cents for with credits, food credits off my card. Oh, and I had $24 in my pocket from a $50 Mega Millions ticket that I played on, what was it, Tuesday. So I got that. That's what I gave her, the dollar, and it was like I owed her like 48 cents or something. And I said, don't worry about that 48 cents. She said, well, here's I will give you 50 cents back, you know, which, 2 cents, right? But I felt good about that. You know, I felt good about walking out with cash in my pocket. I'm going to take the $400. I'm going to put that in the bank on Friday, because tomorrow everything's closed. And that money will go to paying bills too. And we're done. And boy, that voice in my head was screaming about that $75 worth of food. But now look, you're going to spend about $30 in gas getting up there. So now you're at $45, okay? And if you do any gambling and you get yourself in a situation, I am very likely to spend more money. And we're just not going to do that anymore. I've got a good job, and I've got everything is set right now for me to work on my debts, and in about 4 years, I think I could be pretty much debt free, except for the house. I mean, I got to pay the house off. It's going to take a while, but so it was a good day. I mean, and I couldn't believe it. I looked at that. I opened up the credit card, and I was not expecting to see that I owed on that particular credit card, because I knew, I've been sort of weaning myself away, right? But when I saw that $1,500, like $38 on that card, and I'm like going, you got to be kidding me, man. I sent the check into the wrong card. But anyway, it all worked out. I've still got about $300 left. I did all the figures. I still got about $300 left on that card, plus balance. So I'm going to use that over the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to be in a hurry. And there were several things I wanted to buy, but I don't think I'm going to buy them. I think I'm just going to wait, because I want to pay this shit off. I'm sick of banks charging me 30% and 25% and freaking. I'm just sick of paying credit card bills, you know. So we had a good day. Now the fast, I got to tell you, I was up at Charlestown about halfway through it. And here's the thing. They've got free Coke machines up there. You just walk up to them, get yourself a Coke, a cup of Coke like that, you know. Any kind of drink that's in the machine, it's free. You just walk in. You walk in there, anybody can walk into Charlestown and get a free Coke. Or a free, ginger ale or Seagram's or whatever the hell you want, okay? That's free. Now, if you sign on to their card, they'll give you $20 of free food credit. So you get a free meal. I mean, it's hard to not like that, you know. Now, if you can go up there and do that and never gamble, But the problem is with doing that, they see what you do on the card. That's where your credits come from. They know I've lost over $100,000 up there. They want me to keep coming up there. But we're at the end of it. So I was happy that the day went the way it did. I was happy that we got plus money in the bank account to pay the bills. I was happy that we went up to Charlestown one last time. I really did want to have a last story to tell of the last time I gambled. And this is another thing that keeps me from going back up there. Because I want to be able to say, the last time I gambled, I won $400 using their money. And I walked out with it. So. But like I was telling you about the Pepsis, I got real kind of woozy, weak kind of thing, because I was in the casino, but normally when I get like that, I'll drink some water, My water was out in the car. And Charlestown's a big place. You get walking around and you get woozy, and I go, oh boy, I don't need to fall out here, But I did get that coffee, and that coffee did help. I only put creamer in it. And came home. Got home safe, and we thank the good Lord for that. And had a pretty good day. We had a pretty good day. This was a pretty good day. It is 8:57. We are about 3 minutes away from starting fast day 5. And I will say this about this fast. The things that it does for me, the number one thing it does for me is it empties out my insides. And my insides feel so much better. There's no nausea, there's no pain, there's none of that. But a side benefit to a fast, and now I woke up in the morning going to work. It's like the second day of the fast. Sorry. I woke up the second day of the fast. And I was surprised at how I could feel my feet and legs and ankles, and everything felt almost brand new. It was crazy. I was like going, damn, my feet feel great. My legs feel great. And that has to have something to do with the swelling. The water retention in the legs and all that. Now, I'm not helping it by coming home and watching YouTube for 4 hours when I get off of work. And my job will kill me if I don't get off my ass and start riding my bikes. So I got to start doing that. These are all the 2026 things, And I have a whole house of things to do here. I got a car that I got to adjust valves in. I got to change the light housings in. I got to put new struts and springs on it, which are pretty cool with this car, this Honda, because you can buy the strut and spring together, and then it's like 4 bolts on the top, and it's like 1 bolt on the bottom for the front, and it's like the same thing in the back. It's not complicated. It's not like the old American cars with A-arms on it, and you had bushings, and you had to take the A-arms apart and the ball joints out and all that shit. But I got to do it, I got to change my mental mindset. And I'll tell you one thing, and I'm guilty of it, so don't think I'm giving anybody shit. These freaking televisions and these computer monitors and these phones, man, you can get addicted to that shit. You can get your brain, you can get into a mindset where, okay, I'm home, click, 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 and you're off to the races for 4 hours or 5 hours. And when it comes time to go to sleep, all of a sudden it's 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Because I started surfing YouTube and found interesting shit for 4 or 5 hours. But in that also is the fact I don't move. I intentionally got rid of my wife's recliner after she passed away. Because I believe that didn't help her. I don't think that helped her. I don't think that helps anybody. having your feet up like that. Now, I put my feet up here. I put my feet up on the arm of the chair, but my feet are way up and straight, you know. And I have to actually physically move myself to get through that. You know, it's not a thing where I can hit a button and it raises up for me so I don't use my muscles. But coming 2026 is a time of change for me because it has to be. And I'm the only one who can do it. So, 50 years of gambling hopefully has ended. And this means when the lottery gets to $1.5 billion, I congratulate people and I say, I hope you win it. If you win it, please shoot a couple of $100,000 my way. You know? Because I know in my heart that I will never win it. I know. You know, I played this shit. That's why I was, at the end of my involvement in the lottery, I was only buying one ticket. I said, you know what? It only takes one ticket to win. So that's $2. Or I might do the Powerball, which is $3. So, I'm pretty happy today. And it is 9:02 and Fast Day 5 has started. So, I hope you folks are staying inside. Hope you're not out on the roads. It's the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous days of the year. And everybody I talked to at the bank, there was a lady at the bank was talking to the teller. And she's about my age. And she says, no, I'm staying home. And he had asked her, say, are you going out somewhere? You know, they're having a party over there. They knew each other. He said, oh, no, I'm staying home. And I said, yeah, I looked over, I said, yeah, where it's safe, right? She said, yeah, where it's safe. Anyway, I want to thank the good Lord for giving me this good day. We started the day out, I had no plan. I had no plans, you know. I just get out that. My plan was get out the house. Because I can be off easily 4 or 5 days and never leave the house. And I will find things to be interested in, you know. I mean, it's I don't know if it's a man thing. Maybe maybe women who do crafts, it's the same thing with them. But if you have interests and you can keep your mind busy, I mean, I'm not really that lonely to speak of. I mean, knuckleheads in here, and I have all the voices in my head that talk to me all the time, and I have the ghosts in this house that live in here. So, and those are not ghosts. That's not the ghost of my wife. Those are ghosts that was here before we got here. So, but my head's in a good place, and I'm real happy with that. And that's part of the reason I'm doing the fast too, is because if you challenge your body like this and you challenge your mind like this, you don't have to guess about what you can handle. You know, you take the 7-day fast and you try to stay within the guidelines of no sugar, no artificial sugar ever, and water, tea, and coffee. And when you get to that 7th day, you feel like crap. But once you eat that meal and that first week back, it's pretty awesome. Now, one of the biggest reasons I fast too is my eyes, because it made me so angry. Because when I was a young man, I had what's called a Dan Wesson .357 Magnum revolver, 6-shot revolver, and it had a 6-inch barrel on it, and I was a damn fine shot with the open sights. I was a damn fine shot. I could, 25 yards, all holes touching. And somewhere in the last 30 years, my eyes have gotten way worse. And they've kind of stopped and stabilized, you know. So I'm at a 125 glasses now. And my wife told me, she said, Phil, don't ever don't ever start going up in your glasses. You know, don't go 125, 150, 175, 2, because if you start doing that, what's going to happen is you'll be at 3 real quick. And she's a very smart lady. I love being married to her. And I miss her. But in any case, we are into fast day 5 now. And 2026 is about to be here in under 3 hours. And it's a new year. And I would encourage all of you to leave behind the things that are weighing you down in 2025. If you got a bad habit, just try to fight it, you know? And never, ever, 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 ever think about taking the easy way out and just offing yourself. That is just a no-no, because every day you're in this world, you make a difference. This entire world is one bowl of molecules of soup. And you've heard this thing about the butterfly effect, where a butterfly flies in, say, Houston, Texas, and there's a snowstorm in frickin' Siberia. Or there's frickin' volcano explodes out in, you know, Malaysia somewhere. All because that little butterfly was mixing its wings in the soup in Houston, Texas. You're just like that. You make a difference. Uh-oh. That's my buddy. Anyway, folks. Daggone it. I gotta call him in a minute. Y'all have a wonderful... There you go. I'll call you in a minute. Y'all have a wonderful... What, today is Wednesday, right? God darn, my brain is not working. Woo! I was happy. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. And have a wonderful New Year's Day. Happy New Year's to everybody. God bless you. As I always say, God is there to help you. He loves you. All you got to say is, Lord, I need some help. Can you please help me? And He'll help you. It might not come in the way you think, but He will help you. Y'all have a wonderful, safe, and happy New Year's Day. And we will see you on the next video. God bless you, folks, and peace.